Hi guys, and welcome to Keeping Up with the Curls. So today I have a protective style. I did this myself, and I was supposed to record myself or leave some out and like do it on the camera to show you guys how I do it, but I completely forgot. And I just, it's so neat now. I just don't want to take any out and redo it because I just cannot be bothered. But I just thought I would still do a video anyway, because I know I haven't uploaded in a while. So I just wanted to talk about the importance of protective styling, and what it means for your hair, and why you shouldn't neglect your hair when it's in a protective style. A lot of people tend to, put their hair in braids or twists or whatever, and they kind of just leave it and let it go wild, and what happens is your hair dries out. And some of you may find that when you take your hair out of braids, there's no length retention, in the sense that you may get a lot of like breakage. I mean, we do have dead hair, but you may get more breakage than usual, or you may find that it's just not growing, or maybe your scalp is really like weak. So it's like, I've heard some people say not to get braids or not to get, cane rows and things like that, because it actually, makes your hair fall out, and just ridiculous things like that. And that's not true. Okay. One thing I will say is, if your hair is tight, you need to take it out. Your hair should not be tight. I mean, I done my hair myself, and it looks tight, but it's not. I don't let anybody touch my hair, because anytime I've ever had any experiences with other people doing my hair, it's always been a bad experience. And I just believe, that I believe in energy. So when someone puts their hands in your hair, does that person have good energy? Whose hands did they put in prior to yours? Vice versa, like, things are transmuted. So I don't really trust people with my hair in particular, just because of bad experiences I've had. But for some of you, if you don't know how to like braid yourself, you may go to someone else to do it for you. But just make sure that the vibe is right with that person. But if that person is doing your hair too tight to the point where, like, your scalp, like, you shouldn't be going to bed and you have a headache. That's not correct. I don't know why a lot of black people do that to each other's hair. That actually ruins your hair follicles, and it stealths growth, because it promotes like baldness, especially if your hair is quite thin. Like, my hair tends to get thinner towards the front. Like, my hair's a lot thicker in the middle of my head. So if your hair is really thin at the front, or or you've got areas in your hair where some sections are thicker than the other, the worst thing you can do is get a hairstyle where it's really tight and it's pulling on that thin part of your head, especially if you're like baby hairs and everything is quite weak. I do find a lot of people, they'll like get single plaits or braids, and they'll wear their hair up and like be pulling on the scalp, and forcing the baby hairs that are just left to kind of slick it down. That's not what you should be doing. You should be doing downward styles like this, or keeping your hair down, not doing anything to kind of provoke or irritate the parts of your hair that are already thinning or weakened, okay? Because it's just going to make it worse. Protective styles are really good because they protect your hair, it's in the name, but it also promotes and encourages your hair to grow. But how that happens is through oils and grease. So when you're braiding your hair, like when I done my hair, I made sure that my scalp was greased, the whole of their strands were greased, and particularly the ends, because when you're braiding your hair, you want to make sure that the moisture is being trapped in. And also, I feel like cane rows is one of the best ways to kind of grow your hair or to thicken your hair, especially when it's the sun is shining, because the sun is what grows our hair. So and the sun can really dry out your hair. So this is why you have oils, and you put like a protective barrier over it. And what the oil is, it acts like as a nutrient. Think about your crown being like, a tree or a plant. If you feed it and you give it water and you put it in the sun, it will grow. So if you don't moisturize your hair when it's in braids, and I don't mean when you just put it in, like, moisture your scalp every couple days, put oil actually over your braids themselves, so that your hair's not drying out, and allow the sun to activate the nutrients and to kind of connect with your scalp and to promote hair growth. Don't just leave it and be like, okay, well, my hair's in braids now, I can just go out and do what I want, and let your scalp get all dry, because our hair is really coily, it's curly. So the natural nutrients that everybody has in their hair normally falls down from the scalp, down the hair shaft till the ends of our hair, ends of our hair. Because our hair curls up, the nutrients can't travel, which is why we have to put, concentrate on our ends and our roots, because, those are the two things that get really dry. So you need to make sure that your braids are moisturized, and you will see the difference. Like when you take your hair out and then you wash it and everything, you'll see that your hair is a lot thicker and it's grown. Okay, sometimes I didn't do it this time, but sometimes I trim my hair before I put it in braids, just because I feel like it helps my hair to grow a bit quicker. And I like straight, smooth cut ends, but I didn't trim it this time. But you don't have to, okay? But just make sure that the ends of your hair is really moisturized with oil, and your scalp is. And like I said, your hair should not be tight. If it's tight, or I would say if you have a headache after your hair is done, it's too tight, and it's probably not going to your hair's probably not gonna I'm not gonna say it's not going to grow, but it's gonna grow a lot more slower, because the scalp is being pulled. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, so you need to make sure that you're going to someone who knows how to braid and knows how to make your hair look neat without pulling on your scalp. Okay, but yeah, protective styles means that you need to be protecting your strands and your hairs, and just all you need is grease and oil. Like, that's it. Grease or oil or both, whatever whatever works for you. Also, I want to just say this: what works for Susan doesn't necessarily work for Sally. So like for me, coconut oil doesn't do shit for me. All black people use coconut oil. They're always going on about coconut oil, but coconut oil, coconut cream actually doesn't agree with me. It doesn't agree with my skin. So I tend to put whatever my skin likes. I know my hair's going to love. So I recently bought aloe vera oil. And my skin is loving it at the moment. So I put aloe vera oil like in my scalp and in my hair, and even just putting it in, I could just feel the difference. So I read energy and stuff, so I could feel that it's gonna like really grow. And I feel like it's imperative that your hair gets sun. So you know how I feel about wigs and weaves. But we're not going to get into that, okay? But those are like the worst things to wear in the summertime, because that's when you really neglect your hair, because it's underneath and you kind of just forget about it. I mean, I don't know, because I've never worn a wig, touch wood, I won't have to. So I don't know the process, but I just know people always doing this to their hair, and it's just the heat, and it just must be uncomfortable and just icky underneath there. And the sun is not going to your scalp. And we get nutrients and vitamins from the sun. We are children of the sun. We're melanated people, so we need that contact. Our hair is like spiritual. It's a crown. So it's we need to connect with the ethers through our hair, as our hair represents our antennas. This is how we communicate to the divine. So the divine is not going to be able to communicate with you if your head is covered. So this is why I say like cane rows are really good, or box braids, anything where you have loads of part-ins, because when you're greasing those part-ins and then the sun is touching your scalp, like I said, it activates, and it helps promote growth, basically. So that's when you want to be braiding your hair, is when the sun is out. That's when you want to be like, showing your hair off, or putting your hair in protective styles is just the best to do it when the heat is out, in my opinion. So yeah, so make sure you're getting that DNA from the sun. And like I said, just keeping up with the moisturizing. Don't allow your hair to dry out, because our hair is prone to breakage, okay? And moisture is what grows black people's hair. Like, that's the secret. So yeah, so that's just what I wanted to say, Oh, 1 second, because I don't want to break, it's a real gold chain. I want to break that. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say, guys. But I'm sorry, because I was supposed to braid my hair. Next style I'm probably going to do is, the next protective style is going to probably be twist, which is the rubber band method, which is really, really easy for anyone to do. This may be a bit complex if you don't know how to cane row, but twisting is really easy. So the next time I do my hair in a style, I will try to leave a section out and like just show you how I do it. Okay, but yeah, just remember, don't do your hair too tight. If your head's hurting, it's probably, it's just a no-no. And also, if someone is doing your hair and it's too tight, tell them and say, you're doing my hair too tight. Does it have to be tight? If they're telling you that it has to be, that person is just, they don't want the best for you, is all I'm going to say, okay? Your hair does not need to be tight. My brother isn't here. I'm probably going to be doing his hair in the next few days. So if I find the before and after picture, because my brother cut his hair many years ago, and 2020 it started to grow out, and I was doing it, and his hair's grown so much since I've been doing his hair. I mean, I stopped doing it for a while, but I do it now and again. But there was such a tremendous difference. So I kind of wanted to show him as an example, because all he does is put, you know, grease and oils. And, you know, like as women, we tend to do so much shit to our hair. And that's why, you know, a lot of damage happens. But men, they don't really do that much to it. And that's why it grows. So I would have shown him as an example, but he's not here right now. So if I get pictures or something, I'll post them. But yeah, but you know, but cane rows are really one of the best protective styles, I would say. It just helps to thicken your hair, it helps to grow it, and you know what I mean? And it looks cute, okay? But like I said, always make sure that you're moisturizing your hair. When your hair starts to feel dry, when your scalp starts looking dry, you know, just put some oil in it. And like I said, oil your braids as well, so that your hair, your actual hair shaft, you know, the bottom of your hair, like your ends are not drying out. And then you'll find that when you take your hair out of your braids, it won't be dry. It will be dirty because it's been in braids for a while, but it won't be dry because you would have been moisturizing it, okay? But yeah, that is all I have to say for today, guys. I'm going to go on my other channel and do some readings now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, okay? But yes, protective styling is the way to go, especially in the summertime, okay? You want the sun to help promote hair growth. And you also need to know when to rescue your hair. So with me, like, I always know when my hair's starting to get damaged or it's starting to get a bit thinner, because I like dye it and do so many different things. But dyeing is really damaging. So rather than doing more things to promote sorry, one sec. Rather than doing more things to kind of further damage your hair, that's when you need to say, no, okay, I need to just stop. I need to stop doing this, I need to stop doing that, and I need to kind of just give my hair a little bit of a break, okay? And allow your hair to repair itself, okay? And strengthen, okay? So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.